Marc Thiessen, Fox News contributor, former speechwriter for GWB, is here. So Biden's approval rating around 40%, 42% in our latest poll. Let's call for one. But then we also had this week, which is the NBC poll showing that 74% of Americans think the country is headed in the wrong direction. And that, I think, is also a reflection on just how they feel about what's happening in Washington. Mark, your take.
Yeah, well, I mean, his approval has inched up a couple of points. He is still the least popular president in the history of presidential polling at this point in his presidency, going back to Harry Truman. And there's a reason for that, because he has delivered the worst inflation in 40 years, the highest gas prices on record, the fastest drop in real wages in 4 decades, record labor shortage, record teacher shortage, record baby formula shortage, worst crime wave since the 1990s, worst border crisis in American history. What is there for these people to run on? Is that they're going to do an ad saying, I gave you that? Of course not.
Well,
so
that and
of course they're going to be distancing themselves.
That and electric vehicle, tax credit, and an Inflation Reduction Act that they're going to have to admit is not going to reduce inflation.
Yeah, no, here's the thing that's fascinating. There's this narrative in Washington now that the Biden comeback, Joe's on a roll. He's got his mojo back. The wins at his back because he passed the Inflation Reduction Act and the CHIPS Act and the bipartisan gun law, and he killed the leader of Al-Qaeda. Well, if that's a completely inside the Beltway narrative, because if it wasn't, then if I'm wrong, show me the ads. Show me one candidate in America that's running on that. Who's campaigning with Aviator Joe to follow his coattails back into Congress?
Well,
nobody is.
We're going to watch.
It's a completely.
We're going to watch and see if anybody shows up here, but it's going to be something to see over the next 11 weeks. Mark, Dr. Fauci announces yesterday he is done at the end of this year. Rand Paul says, not so fast. As a private citizen, you'll come back and testify on the origins of it. Meanwhile, I mean, we can reflect now on his tenure, and you can agree or disagree with how he led during this period. But this is how the media, in many ways, cast his message.
There has never been anyone else like him, and there never will be again.
Always pushing for science first in President Trump's White House, Fauci at times exasperated, his face in hand.
I would say that I would hope that this president would give Dr. Fauci the Presidential Medal of Freedom, but he's already received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Well, they're going to miss him.
Never has anyone been so wrong about so much for so long and been so lionized as Anthony Fauci. I mean, if you go back, the left's narrative was that if Donald Trump had just moved faster at the start of this pandemic, things would have been different. If you go back to those first 3 months, January, February, March, Dr. Fauci was out there saying, this is no threat to Americans. We don't see it spreading here. Don't wear masks because masks will make you touch your face. It might make you feel better, but they don't work. He presided over the failures of detection, of prevention, and of testing. And then once he figured out that he was wrong, he was the author of and the prime mover for these lockdowns, which did more damage to the country than the virus did. We are still dealing today with the consequences of these lockdowns, with millions of businesses that were shut down that'll never reopen, kids with lifetime learning losses that they'll never recover from. And he's the author of all this. He's the one who is pushing all this. So, Anthony Fauci is the most overrated person in American public life that I've ever seen. And, Rachel Maddow said we'll never see his likes again. I hope that's a promise, not a threat.
Well, so he is going to retire in December. But if the Republicans take over, we know that they've already said we're going to be holding hearings in the House and maybe in the Senate if they win back the Senate. Do you think he should make himself available, present his case in those hearings?
He certainly should, and he's testified before and had his clashes with Rand Paul and all the rest of it. But honestly, what we do need to do at some point, if and when Republicans do succeed in taking over at least one House of Congress, is we need an after-action study like we did with the 9/11 Commission, because this pandemic has been a failure from preparation to execution to the response on every level, except for one thing, Operation Warp Speed, which gave us the fastest delivery of vaccines in human history. But other than that, the CDC, the NIH, these institutions have failed in so many ways and done so much damage to this country. I mean, you wonder why we have like a teacher shortage today, why we have a labor shortage, why we have inflation. It's all because of the lockdown. We're still suffering from the pandemic response, from the lockdowns, and then the money that the government poured into the economy to make up for the lockdowns. which has distorted the economy to the point that people are still paying for the price today.
Yeah, the consequences are still being
we
felt.
need an after-action study.
Yeah, many a book to be written. Thank you, Mark. Nice to have you in today. Marc Thiessen, we'll talk to you later in the week.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.